Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. All right. What? Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, guys, we are live today. Something a little bit different for Good Morning Hospitality. Also, Steve has transformed himself. Oh my gosh. We have a lovely, we've got a different host today.
That's right. We miss Steve though.
I know we do.
Yeah.
We do. But we've got girl power today.
That's right. That's right. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Katie Klein. I'm the host of Sweet Success. I was once in your chair, Sarah, with Steve. So it's nice to be on the other side today.
I know. It's really nice. So if it looks a little bit different, it is different because we're here live at the Skift Global Forum in New York City.
Yes.
So you're based here.
I'm based here. I love this event every single year.
Yeah.
It brings together just everyone in the travel and hospitality industry.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel the energy in the room.
Yeah, I have to say, so it's my first time being here. It's been on my list to attend, and travel schedules, the way that they work out. And it's great. I was here last night for the opening night, and we'll talk a little bit about this morning, what's been going on. But I mean, the conference is happening now. Yes. So it's cool. There's some big players in the room.
There's huge players here. And I know you were here last night. Yeah. You heard from two of them.
Yes.
So tell me, you need to fill me in on everything. Let's kick off with Glenn Fogel from Booking.
Yes, exactly. So this was great. So last night, first of all, I mean, it was standing room only, which was really cool to see, especially because it started at 6 p.m. Everybody was here. Everybody was like ready and eager to hear what's going on in the world of travel. So we had Glenn Fogel, so Booking.com CEO, and it was an interesting conversation. Obviously, the topic of AI, huge. Yeah, that is
the through line. It seems like
it definitely is. But he was really kind of comparing this sort of like AI boom, so to speak, with the .com boom, and kind of thinking, because he was asked, like, is there going to be an AI bubble? And there probably will be, as we saw with the .com boom, but it also lasted throughout after,
we're still on .coms.
We're still on .coms. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Oh yes, exactly. So again, it is this interesting reminder of like, we're in the middle of it, but there's still so much more to discover. And in 5 years, the landscape is going to be completely different. In 10 years, I mean, the future is looking bright.
I appreciated the comparison too, because I feel like it takes a lot of that fear mongering out of AI, where everyone's like, ooh, big scary robots coming for our jobs. But when he said, hey, this is similar to what we experienced when the internet bubble began, it almost puts you back in the seat of going, oh, okay. And here we are, still surviving, still without robots taking over. But what is it's going to superpower us in the future?
Yeah. And I love that you bring that up, because that is something that a lot of people get nervous about. But anytime there's any sort of new tech that gets launched, people are always nervous until we learn to integrate it into our lives. And so right now it's still so much, even though it's grown so much in the past year, 2 years, it's still so much in its infancy.
Yeah.
And again, this is also the fun time. I call it the fun time, where it will see a difference between what in theory things will happen and then what actually ends up.
Yeah. Predictions versus future reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, which then goes on to the next, we also have Brian Chesky on. So he joined us live, which was really great. Big fan of what they're doing over there at Airbnb. And I love that they're kind of doing the experiences 2.0, so to speak, so that people can book services and all different chefs, massages. I love that it's very much a one-stop shop because there is a market for that. I mean,
That's
there
exactly
are actual apps that you can book just massages on. You can book just chefs on or whatever. So
I think when we think about the travel experience, this is a huge opportunity for the company
Totally.
to bring in that 360-degree element of while you're in the destination. And there's so much consumer trust in Airbnb already.
Totally.
So if they're going to curate services, experiences, already you're going to think, that's someplace that I might want to book. That's a chef I might want to trust and enjoy because it has Airbnb stamp of approval.
Well, and what he mentioned last night is, kind of the big thing of like, why does a consumer choose a hotel versus an Airbnb? Obviously, there are different reasons why you would want to stay in a different location. But he was saying one of the big aspects that they got back as far as feedback is what people liked about hotels is all the services that they can have.
Yeah.
So how nice that you can now have that with Airbnb. I mean, to me, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got clients that stay at Airbnbs. I also have clients that stay at luxury hotels. When they're in an Airbnb, many times they are with the whole family.
Yeah.
And yes, they want a chef, or, they've got kids running around in this and they want to like tuck away and just have a massage or something. And it just is nice to show them like what the capabilities are.
I think, Sarah, you know better than anyone how integral the concierge is to the travel experience, right?
Yes.
And so you're right. All of a sudden, it's the same guest. It's not you're an Airbnb guest or you're a hotel guest.
Totally.
We're seeing different choices for different trips. But you still want those services.
Yeah.
So here they're using AI, they're using technology to bring a concierge-like element to that experience.
And as a hotelier, I mean, for those that have followed me for a while, like I've been a big fan of what they're doing with Airbnb because look, and this was, by the way, this sentiment was echoed by both Glenn last night as well as Brian, but like the travel pie is big enough.
Yeah.
Like just give people options, and we'll get into it today, but it's like, we had the CEO of Frontier Airlines and we're trying to do a comparison between Frontier and United. And he's like, but it's a different type of traveler. And I think that is the sentiment, is that working together and giving people more accessible ways. Like travel's become more accessible than ever before. And it keeps and that's what we want. We want people to travel.
Right. It's not one or the other anymore. I mean, I also come from a hotel background. I will always love hotels, but I also have 2 little ones. So being able to rent an Airbnb where I can put the kids in different rooms and not go to bed at 8 p.m. myself.
Yeah.
That's really attractive to me. That would cost a lot more money to buy a hotel suite that had the same amount of footprint.
Oh, completely. I mean, it just economically makes sense in certain situations, but we digress. The point is like last night there was a great conversation, great discussion. And what I love about having these CEOs on is that we're kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit, seeing more than just bottom line, seeing more than just what the headlines are, but getting a little peek into like, okay, what's the roadmap for the future? Like, what are they really seeing? Because sometimes you don't get that in the headlines.
Exactly. And you understand why. When they're talking to the street, they need to be talking about what happened last quarter and what's coming next quarter, right? But for all
and
of
the trends
us,
they're seeing.
Exactly. We want to know where's their head at? What are they looking at long term? And that's what gets us excited.
Totally. And the conversations, it was funny because we were about to hop on this live earlier, but I was like, okay, Katie, I have to go. Like, we have to go listen to some of these
nerds in the front row taking notes.
Very nerdy. Very nerdy. So, okay, switching gears to today.
Yes.
I love that we've both. So I'm going to pull up the schedule for today. There's already been some great conversations. Rafa obviously just leading the conversation. That's always been great. But our dear friend Peter Greenberg having a conversation on the future of domestic air travel with Barry Biffle.
Yeah, from Frontier Airlines.
That was neat. What stood out from you with that?
I loved what they were talking about with that standby pass. I didn't realize that Frontier had that offering, and that seems really cool and interesting to me. And the way that he likened it to, this is some of the perks that we give to our employees, but actually you're confirmed in advance. So you don't actually have to show up to the airport and then be told there's no space, which that's what standby is, what you'd expect. This seems kind of like the best of both worlds. I definitely want to check that out.
I actually have not checked that out. I mean, everybody knows my loyalty. We won't drop names here, but what I did find interesting, and I love that Barry stuck to this because I agree wholeheartedly. And dear friend Peter, but I love that Peter was like, so the CEO of United said this, trying to stir some things up. But again, at the end of the day, each of these companies offer a slightly different product, and you are appealing to a different demographic, a different clientele. And so long as people have an option and a way to move, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Also, I think this goes back to what you were saying earlier about having moderators like Peter, like the Skift editorial team, to really poke at those questions that we're all wondering about, that we all would love to have a CEO's take on.
Yeah.
They're doing it in real time, and we get to actually hear that unfiltered take.
We were talking about that, is that I think many times you attend conferences and you're like, okay, it's clear that the CEOs came in with their talking points. We get it. We understand the exchange.
And Sarah, I'm a publicist, so I love a talking point. I want them to read their briefing sheets, but the audience, we want the real stuff.
Yeah. And there's something to be said for when the moderator asks a question and you have to see them like, oh, we got to do a little sidestep here. But again, it's how they navigate that. And I feel like you're able to just dig a hair deeper, which has been great to see. I mean, I'm so excited to hear the rest of the day as it goes through. But there was, what were some of the other conversations? Oh,
we then moved on to the CEO of IHG, Ellie, and he was really showing some exciting growth plans for the company.
Yeah.
What did you think really stood out from that chat?
Well, I mean, and it's something I agree with. I haven't heard it necessarily just said so succinctly, but like hotel growth and like where that whole space is going, it's moving east. So talking about moving to the Middle East, moving to India, Southeast Asia, China.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important, especially for American travelers to really take note, because I think all too often we can be a little bit siloed and think of the usual suspects. And there's so much, not only there's so many people, but there's also so much potential and growth. Like there's spending power in these other parts of the world that we should not be sleeping on.
Yeah. I really liked when he was talking about Japan. And I've been hearing that from other people in the industry about how important Japan is becoming as a travel destination, and has been some time. But he shared a stat, and it was something like less than 10% of hotels in Japan are from internationally flagged companies. So again, huge runway.
I thought that was really interesting. That was cool.
That was cool. And a big runway there. And I think as you start to see more international travelers come in, he was talking about travelers from China, travelers from India visiting Japan. Those are countries where they are familiar with these international brands, and they want that recognition. They want that comfort level when they're choosing where to stay.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. I mean, I have yet to go to Japan. Have you been?
Wow. I have a long time ago. I think we should go. Let's go on a trip.
I mean, by the way, did you notice how she didn't even pause? She was like, I think we should go. Agree.
Agree. What are you doing next Wednesday?
Go to Japan with you. But yeah, no, this was, again, it was a great conversation, and he's so articulate in how he's just and understands the space from a global perspective. And that's another big reminder that, again, we're living in a more globally connected environment than ever before. Travel's become easier, like flying somewhere. I mean, just in July, I went from LA and I did a layover in Rome, went to the Colosseum, saw one world wonder, and then went to Egypt and saw the pyramids the next day. And then I was back by Monday.
Wow.
Now, granted, that is not a trip for everybody. It was pretty aggressive, but I mean, I did that. And but my flight cost $900.
Wow.
Like I was able, and then I got one hotel or two hotel nights. It was like 150. I mean, it did not break the bank.
For $1,000, you saw 2 world wonders.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good bargain.
Exactly. I mean, I didn't sleep, but that's a story for another day. So
sleep.
Yes, we got world wonders to check out.
He also mentioned about the acquisition of Ruby. And I thought it was really interesting to hear him talk more about that brand as well.
Yeah. Do you want to share like a little?
Yeah, he was just talking about how this is a brand that's really known for being in the epicenter of cities that you want to visit and bring that design approach forward.
Yeah.
So again, really interesting to see how these bigger companies are starting to touch on the boutique spaces as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I've always been a big fan of, we've seen these bigger brands that's why they have all of these different options as far as hotel brands, because people might want to, whether it's like take advantage of the loyalty and rewards programs, but then they want a different type of experience. And again, a person that seeks out boutique hotels is different than somebody that might seek out like a conference hotel that's going to be really big, or maybe they want to stay in a home rental.
Yeah.
So,
and again, that comfort level of if you are traveling to a city you've been to a million times, you might feel much more open to trying a boutique hotel that doesn't have the backing. But if you are taking that once in a lifetime trip or visiting a destination that is new to you, is foreign to you, knowing that you have the backing of the IHGs and the other brands like that, that might give you the confidence for your trip as well.
Yeah. Hold on 2 seconds. It looks like the camera was unplugged, sir. Let's see what's going on. We'll keep the conversation started going here. I just looked over. I was like, I don't know if we're on. You guys, this is what happens when you do live.
This is live.
What's going on? Do you see us talking? We do have a couple of other things to kind of cover. What's going on? All right, guys, we're going to keep this show going, and maybe you'll see our faces pop up shortly. Ooh, maybe. There we are.
We're back.
Hey guys, we're back. I don't know how long you haven't seen our beautiful faces, but they're still just as beautiful.
We're here. We're here. We promise.
We're here. Okay, so there was another conversation that happened this morning at the Skift Global Forum with Chris Hartley from the Global Hotel Alliance. I have to say, I had the chance to interview him like 3 years ago, several podcasts ago, and I love what they're doing. Yeah. And this was a great conversation. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I think talk a bit more about what he was sharing is great.
Yeah. So, I mean, for those that aren't as familiar with the Global Hotel Alliance, they basically provide a loyalty and rewards program to those independent luxury brands that aren't under the bigger umbrellas, like under the Marriott's, Hilton's, IHG's, all of that. And I love what they're doing. Because again, the Kapinskis, the Oakter collection, like those type of brands that absolutely can and should foster brand loyalty, but yeah, now they're able to do it through the Global Hotel Alliance
and allowing those boutique hotels to still remain independent.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of that, I think.
And then because a lot of those brands are more in the luxury space, that was also really exciting because as we've talked about, okay, what is the future of travel? Like, the economy, it's precarious, what's going on, but everybody is continuing to lean into the fact that luxury is here to stay. I mean, luxury kind of weathers through.
Yeah. And we heard that he was in conversation with Dilip from Minor Hotels CEO, and he at that top end, those top spenders are the ones that are always rebounding fastest and strongest.
Yes.
They want the experiences.
So it's funny because it reminded me of, I guess it was a crash in 2008. How old am I? Don't ask that question. I was working at the Peninsula Hotel in Beverly Hills at the time. And it's so funny because I'll talk to people and they'll be like, oh, don't you remember when the economy crashed in 2008? And I'm like, I didn't feel it, thankfully.
Right.
Because I was working in a luxury hotel environment. And it's maybe there was a little bit of a dip, but nothing too significant that impacted my day-to-day life.
Right.
So that a good reminder of
is a proof you lived in real life that you saw the rebound right there. Yeah. Dilip also spoke about the recent acquisition of Cinnamon Hotels. And I know you actually stayed in a Cinnamon hotel
in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Which was very cool. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, Sri Lanka is a wonderful destination, but again, this is this reminder. And what I love that they were even talking about Sri Lanka is Sri Lanka generally is not a common travel destination for a lot of Americans. A lot of Europeans go there. Germans, British, French, but not as many Americans. Yeah. It's a long trip.
It's a long flight.
But so it just tends to fly a little bit under the radar, but it's a beautiful destination.
Gorgeous. My husband and I went for our honeymoon. And
Love that.
Absolutely fell in love with it. We traveled around the south part. I wish I had time for the north as well. But I really wanted to spend time in each of the locations. Yeah. Completely fell in love with it. And the food was fantastic. The
food is really good. And it's wonderful experiencing hospitality in different countries because it is that reminder that we are all human and we all are touched by the same things. It doesn't matter the language. It doesn't matter the cultural background. The human element that unites us all really always comes through in hospitality. I think that's what I love the most about it.
That's what I love most about it. We're not that different.
No.
Even though we might have had completely opposite upbringings, we are not that different from each other. And we see that when we travel and we stay. So true. So there's been a couple of other conversations. I'm just trying to see. So I'm actually excited for this conversation that's happening right now. Agentic AI and travel. Yeah. Again, AI, huge topic. Yeah. Were there other topics that were kind of like looking
interesting for you?
I think the whole itinerary, honestly, every single session is jam-packed with information. And again, I just can't wait to get back in that front row and be that nerd taking notes and listening.
I know. So this has definitely been, it's great. So you'll stay tuned for all the social media, by the way, that's going on from here with Skift. I think our own social as well. We'll absolutely be recapping it. But if the Global Forum has been on your mind or like, oh, I need to go at some point, this is your reminder that you should definitely
everyone is here, it feels like. So if you're not, come join us.
Yes, the FOMO is real.
Yes.
So okay, that being said, we'll shift back to our regularly scheduled programming. Okay. We always kind of like wrap up our segment with a real-time recap. Okay. As I like to say, real-time recap.
Love it.
With the dance moves. I know. I have no excuse this time. It's not 7 a.m. So what have you seen out there on the streets of hospitality?
Fairly recently, I was up in the Finger Lakes in upstate New York. Absolutely stunning. I was setting up an Airbnb for myself up there. And I had thought we were going to set it up much faster than we did. We still got it done in 7 days, which I think is really fast for a full-scale renovation.
Sure.
But I had originally think like 4 or 5. So when we realized we needed to stay longer before we were moving into our place, I had a last-minute scramble on Airbnb trying to find a place to stay. And I found this gorgeous farmhouse that was on a winery. The daughters of the winemaker were the ones who run the property. They just decorated it absolutely stunning. And not only were they able to accommodate me pretty much instantly, they knew I was traveling with kiddos. They had the pack and play set up for me. They had a bottle of their vineyard's wine in the fridge, just those little things. And I think a lot of times, in the hotel space, of course, you can just book instantly.
Yeah.
But when we are dealing with real-time hosts, you get that hospitality almost more so sometimes.
Yeah. Oh,
because
absolutely.
They were really taking care of me and saying like, oh, that must be so stressful that you're looking for a place last minute. Yeah, we're ready for you. Yeah, you can check in early. Yeah, the bed is set up. So I just loved everything about that experience.
Oh, that's great. And it's always a reminder of like, hospitality is all around us, and which is great. So, I actually, on my trip out from Los Angeles to JFK, I flew Delta One.
Lovely.
So everybody knows I'm a big fan of Delta. And so I was cashing in on some points and upgraded because I hadn't had that experience yet. I know everybody must think I travel first class all the time, and I do not. But I had the opportunity to try it, and I was like, I want to do this and see what this whole experience is like. Sure. And from Los Angeles, you have a whole separate entrance, separate security. You go in, and it's like a proper restaurant that they've got a menu and you can order from. You don't have to pay anything extra for. Obviously, it's all included, and then you're kind of like whisked away, and you almost have. Mine's almost like flying private or so. So I think I haven't flown private. I've arranged
at least as we see on Netflix.
I've arranged a lot of private flights, but for the case of this, I'm really digging myself into a big hole here. For the case of this, it's like you have this whole private entrance. It was almost like they like helped you with your bags through security. Not quite, but it was very pleasant, very easy. And again, it just had that wonderful hospitality. But one of the reasons why I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you and your Delta. Here's my thing with Delta. And I will continue to say this until proven otherwise, by the way. Any brand can come and change my opinion. I'm open to that. I don't know what they do with their training, but their entire team is excellent. And they're really good at just delivering service, whether it's they acknowledge status, whatever it might be. They're good.
Yeah. But also what I'm hearing from your experience is they took away all of the friction that you typically have in the airport experience. You didn't have to wait in the long lines for check-in. You had a different entrance. You had a real restaurant, not like a horrible airport experience. And then boarding was easy. And then once you're on the plane, you have a beautiful product, of course.
Oh, completely.
Yeah,
so
we sound like a commercial for Delta One.
We did. And it's like hashtag not sponsored at all. Okay. I used real points for that. But I'm open to it.
But call Sarah, Delta.
Yeah, exactly. Call me 1-800. Anyway, so yeah, it's been great. So I always like, kind of reminding our listeners why we do this real-time recap is, again, when you work in hospitality, I know you get it. You go through the same things over and over and over again. And sometimes it's just, to be inspired to deliver good service, you have to be tuned into seeing it around you. Right. Because if you don't become too used to it and you like look for the magical moments, it's an easier for you to create that
and
magic.
For us, we're delivering it over and over and over again. But for that one guest, it's that one experience.
Yes.
So just like what I was saying with that host that allowed me to check in early and made it all just so easy and seamless for me. They would have done that for, hundreds of guests before me, but it stood out to me and it was special to me and it was the one time for me. So I think it's such an inspiration to continue to deliver the level of service that we want.
It is what makes the hospitality industry so special. So, wow, how have we done with our timing here? Looks like we're doing pretty good. Well, I mean, the goal was we didn't want this show to be too long today because there's a lot of conversations happening upstairs. Yeah. And we want to get back out there.
Yeah,
so
we have lots of notes to take.
We do.
And people to listen to.
Exactly.
Ideas to be inspired.
But this was fun. Hopefully you enjoyed the two of us, something a little bit different on a Wednesday.
Thank you for letting me join.
Oh my gosh, thank you for joining.
Thanks, Steve, as well.
Yeah, right? Next time I'll wear my hat.
So yeah, we can be hats.
We can be hat twins.
Twins.
I love that. Well, We'll do our regular sign off here. As all you guys for tuning in, you can always check out, be sure to follow, share, like the show, all of that good stuff. But until next time, stay hospitable.
Bye.
Yay. We're ending the stream.